part of the program, I'm going to give you some hints for the listening section of TOEFL IBT. TOEFL IBT listening section is delivered immediately after the reading section. The listening section of TOEFL IBT measures your ability to understand spoken English in academic settings. In TOEFL IBT, the listening is done for three major reasons or purposes. The first purpose or the first reason of a listening section is listening for basic comprehension, or we say listening for gist, listening for general understanding. The second purpose of this section is listening for pragmatic understanding. Well, that means listening for meaning of words, meanings of sentences, meaning of lectures, conversations, all of them. And the last purpose or the last reason would be to connect and combine ideas presented in multiple information sources. So these are the three reasons or three purposes that TOEFL IBT has behind the listening section. The listening section of the TOEFL lasts about 40 to 60 minutes. So that would be the time. There are 6 to 9 listening tasks, which include the following: a minimum of 2 questions between 2 people, such as 2 students, or a student and a professor, or a librarian, a counselor, following by questions. A minimum of 2 lectures, followed by questions. And a minimum of 2 lectures with the students' comments and questions, followed by questions. So the listening section has got 6 to 9 tasks, and these tasks are like this. They're conversations between people, they're lectures, or they are lectures and comments. Okay, well, as it is the listening section, for sure for the listening you need headphones. So in this part, you will need headphones. You will need to put your headphones on. You can adjust the volume during the test. You may also take notes at any time and use your notes to help you answer the questions. But your notes will be destroyed before you leave the exam hall. So you're not allowed to take the notes out. Something that is very important is that each question in the TOEFL IBT listening section must be answered before you go on to the next question. Don't forget that you should answer all the questions before you go on to the next question. You are not permitted to go back to the previous question once you have left the question. So there is no turning back. You're going to answer the question and move to the next part. This is really important. Well, let's take a look at the listening topics now. Most of the academic lectures featured in the TOEFL listening section, are at a first-year university level. Though the topics can cover a wide range of subjects, they typically fall into 4 major categories: arts, life science, physical science, and social science. Art lectures may include architecture, music, literature, photography, urban planning, and so on. Life science could include public health, animal communications, conversations, medicine, bacteria, and the other things. Physical science could include climate, geography, landforms, environments, pollution, and so on. And social science lectures could include linguistics, education, history, business, psychology, and so on. So these are the topics that you will have in TOEFL listening section. Art lectures, or the topics are art, life science, physical science, or social science. Alright, about the question types, the type of questions that we have in TOEFL IBT. But before talking about these question types, I need to talk about the passages that we have in TOEFL IBT. There are three different types of listening passages you will hear in TOEFL IBT. These passages are conversations, academic discussions, or lectures. Conversations, academic discussions, or lectures. Some use formal language while others are more casual. Language is natural sounding, and that pauses, errors, and false actually starts occurring. The first style are called conversations. In conversation passages, actually these kind of passages take place between a student and a university employee. The employee is often a professor, but can also be another worker on campus, such as advisor or housing officer. The topics are usually about life on campus. You will also hear academic discussion, which take place in a classroom setting. So academic discussions mostly take place in classroom setting. In these passages, there are more than two speakers. Usually, the professor does most of the talking, and a few students ask and answer questions and make comments. They are usually longer in length than the conversations. So these academic discussions are longer than those conversations. And the other actually type of, let's say, or passages that you will hear in TOEFL IBT is lecture. Lectures involve only one speaker. As you say, in conversation, you had two speakers. In academic discussions, there might be more than two speakers. And in lectures, you have only one speaker. These lectures test your ability to comprehend academic subject material spoken by a professor. You will hear topics on just about every type of subjects, like biology, art, geology, which we talked about in the previous slide. It is worth mentioning that it is not necessary for you to learn any background material for this section. You don't need any background material because everything you need to know and everything you need to answer the questions will be stated in the lecture. So you don't need any background knowledge. And something which is more important is that there are many actually type of questions which we will talk, but the questions are generally in the same order as the information presented. So the order of questions is in the order of actually presenting the information. That is really important. So when you answer question number one, it means the next question, for the next question actually, you can find the answer in the following, I don't know, sentences or following conversations, okay? So the questions are all in order.